Hey folks, Mark Major here at the Action Figuratorium, and I'm a real big toy collector, as you can see by the stash of toys behind me. I'm also a bit of a marketing person. I've spent kind of a lifetime in sales and marketing, and I now run a green screen studio that caters to people who are doing music videos, as well as agencies who are shooting ads here. And so I'm still in the thick of marketing. And today on this episode of my Toy Talk, I'm going to be doing a bit of a rant against HasLab, since I feel as if they're not active and we need to fill the void with more HasLab. And so I'm going to be talking about the 3 things that HasLab is doing wrong in terms of their marketing. So stick around, it's worth it. All right, here we go. So first thing, this is what's wrong with HasLab and whatever it is they're trying to put together as far as the marketing. These guys need to always have a project going. And there's times when they've got 3 projects all going at once, and there's times where they have none. And to me, I see this as kind of the big failures, that they don't always have a beach ball constantly up in the air over the crowd. There's so much dead space in their little sales table. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense, other than I think what's really going on is that they have dream projects, right? That's the Transformers G.I. Joe stuff. And then they have projects that are only there because of marketing, right? Like the Ghostbusters Proton Pack, right? It's only going to go up on HasLab when that Ghostbusters movie is coming out. So if they kick the Ghostbusters movie out a month, 2 months, next quarter, next year, that's when the pack is going to come out on HasLab, and all of a sudden there's 3 things for sale. Same thing with the Reva's lightsaber. They were not going to make that. They did not have the bandwidth. Nobody thought it was going to fund. They didn't want it to fund. It was only there to market that Kenobi show. Okay? And that's why there's just a bunch of these things all at once and then nothing. But what they need to do is they need to space them out, and that means they need to have some kind of planning that is long term. They need to have a pipeline of when they can drop these projects. And you know, if you have 4 projects a year, that's 1 a quarter. Just make it so that your time is, you know, somewhere between 30 and 90 days on how long to fund them. All right, so let's move on to the second thing that HasLab is definitely not really crushing it on and hitting it out of the park, and that is the fact that the project thing with the tiers, add-ons, and the prices is broken. It doesn't make any sense. It's totally broken, people. It's completely broken. Here's what I'm talking about. They put out an item for sale, and people are like, no, I'm not going to buy that unless I can see what the tiers are, right? Because they don't understand that, like, the whole thing is like, this is the item, this is what it's going to cost to get it made. The tiers isn't part of it, but people think they are. They think that they're getting all 3 other extra action figures or faceplates or Grogu's or whatever it is. They think that that just comes with it, and that's part of the price. And so they're trying to see what those things are to see if they should go in on this thing. And then you start seeing people nudging you in the comments and getting online saying that we all need to go in on this thing so we can see what the tiers are. Like they want you to sign some kind of a petition, right, to just see what it is they're selling. And like, this is clearly broken marketing. This is totally broken, to where the audience is asking to see it and the people won't show it to them, and they're like, if you show it to us, we'll pay money. And they're like, no, we can't. It doesn't make any sense. In fact, I know that there's this crowd of people out there who are like, oh, these guys are corporations and they're crowdfunding and this is bad. they're not crowdfunding. This is just a marketing tactic. It's just a marketing campaign. There's nothing crowdfunded about any of this stuff, and so the whole tiers thing is just complete theater. And they're breaking their own sales channels because now you have audience people fighting each other over this thing, and we don't even know what it is because they won't show you what it is the tiers are, because you don't get those tiers unless they hit a certain amount of money, and people don't want to spend it unless they know. So it's all broken, okay? And they broke it, and it's totally useless now, and they're probably going to have a hard time going forward with these campaigns until they can unbreak this and figure out how to make this work. All right, last thing, marketing, HasLab. What are they doing wrong? Now, this is one where people are going to flip out. People are going to get mad. They're going to get angry. They're going to start saying things in the comments. Someone's going to get up and they're going to punch the screen, right? But I think this is probably the best piece of advice to HasLab at this point as far as their marketing goes, and that is the add-ons are crap, okay? The stuff that they're coming up with is crap. When they give you action figures, right? When Marvel Legends says, hey, if you buy this, we'll give you some Marvel Legends, it's not a good deal. It's a bad deal. It's crap. This is what these guys do for a living, is they make action figures and they sell them. All right? This is like if you bought some sort of fancy car from the Hershey Company and then they said, all right, you got this really amazing looking car. You know, this one of a kind, looks like a, you know, looks like an old 1920s Rolls Royce. Here's a bag of M&Ms, right? These guys make M&Ms all day long. They throw bags of M&Ms endlessly everywhere. For them to throw you an extra figure doesn't mean anything. That Nova figure with the Galactus is $0. I have one of the Toy Biz Novas in the box, and the cost to ship it is more than the value of the action figure, okay? If I sell that thing on eBay, I lose money. Nobody wants the figure. Nobody wants Nova. It's crap. They need to stop giving figures with the projects, because they need to use those projects to sell the figures in their regular business. They need to give you something very specific to the figure. Now, in the case of the Galactus, the face plates, right, that you got with it, that's specific to this figure, and so that's a great idea, right? Things like that. If they had given him like you know, like a throne, if they'd given him maybe like a giant base to stand on, if they gave him maybe that accessory of that weird sort of space jackhammer that came with the other one that I have in the back here, stuff like that. That's the kind of thing. That Doom head, by the way, that they put on, that was a big fuck you to fans, okay? I don't know how anybody tolerated that. That would be the last straw for me if I saw something like that come down the pike. Whatever. Huge waste of everything, everyone's time, money, all that stuff. It's like, yeah. So you got to have something specific to the toy that makes sense, that only comes with the toy and makes sense to the toy and is its own unique thing. It can't just be an action figure that you throw in. You remember all those like Eternals that were, you know, on pegs, and they just were there for so long that they solidified into a huge sort of a block, and then they went on clearance and they didn't sell, and then they went to like Ollie's and Big Lots and they didn't sell, and then they went to the Salvation Army and they didn't sell, and then you saw guys strapping them to their feet in the wintertime to use them as snowshoes, okay? You saw people taking Marvel Eternals and those whatever, the 5 rings, that set, taking all those action figures and just putting them on the road for traction in the winter so people could drive over them. Okay, that was the only use they found for these toys. And if you think they can't do, you know, if you think that Ghost Rider is worth something, just think of all those Eternals just sitting on the wall. They're giving you nothing. You got to get something more. And it's the perfect way for them to actually sell the figures, is have a wave come out that comes out with the project. So when the Galactus comes out, you have a wave of figures that everybody goes out and buys to have it go with their Galactus. And in some ways, the wave drives sales of the Galactus. In some ways, the Galactus drives sales of the wave. But it's a better way to have some kind of marketing synergy between the HasLab projects and the stuff that just sits there in Target and Walmart, and can drive sales both ways, but don't just throw them in to try and get more people to buy this thing. It has to be something good on its own. So that is the 3 things that HasLab is doing wrong with marketing, and I'm pretty sure that we all went up wrong after this episode. So with that, I'll catch you guys on the next one. It's been a lot of fun.